Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of the WLW Women Love Women podcast. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. This episode, Epilogue of Hope, is named after one of the poems written in Masterpiece in Your Heart. As usual, I will start by reading the poems, which was written on the 12th August 2015. And then I will tell you the story of how this poem started.
This podcast is brought to you by Winter Scribbler Publishing, where reality and imagination turn into delicate harmony of scripts and illustrations.
Epilogue of Hope. I like the way you skid your car to stop me. I like the way you buzzed your car when you saw me. I have been longing to meet you again, even though my heart whispers, please don't. Your sudden appearance for weeks of lullaby to your absence. Your presence is my distraction. You are definitely an impossible. We are an impossible. I love how all these moments with you had evolved, from ignoring my presence to how we are now. Your smiles, your humor, your pleasantness, your warmth, your wit. The good news, I could not hide my shade of dim, the shadows of uncertainty, the gloom of my smiles. Mountains of walls began to fence up again, enveloping my thoughts, shackling my epilogue of hope. Okay, you see, I never believe in stories or movies when the main character falls in love with the girl next door or the boy next door, or like they will be attracted to their neighbor. And then when they are attracted to their neighbor, they look forward to meeting their neighbor at the corridor, or they will find ways to, share food with their neighbor. I mean, for flirting purposes, if you would like to share food with your neighbor, it's normal, which is a good practice, but I'm talking about flirting purpose, alright? So just to be clear, I don't really believe it because I don't see any potential with any neighbors of mine. Alright, probably also because where I stay, most of my neighbors are like, not in my age range. Except for that one time, I saw this girl years ago who actually randomly smiled at me while I was with my bike under the block. So I guess she just came back from studying overseas because she was with her Caucasian friend with huge luggages. I cannot recognize her face though. Until now, I couldn't recognize. I just recognized the smile, and her friendliness. That's it. And I was inspired to write this poem when reality happened to me. So I realized that I kept looking forward to those times I could see this particular neighbor of mine. Every time I will find reasons to go downstairs, find reasons to go to the nearby shops or even just walk by the area expecting that I could see her. And what I did is I always choose the best timing, which would be like, okay, there's high probability I could accidentally meet with her, downstairs. Sounds very familiar. Yeah, like, in the movies that you don't believe anything is even possible, isn't it? I would like to tell you a little backstory about this neighbor of mine. So, this neighbor of mine has been staying in the same apartment block as mine for years. Her mom is actually like a family friend to my late grandmothers, so they have known each other for like a very long time. I knew them and I know she exists, but I don't remember seeing her like around that often except for her mom. The day when this started was during an election day, I think a few years ago, maybe like 8 years. Yeah, around that period. So me and my family coincide with her and her mom while we were heading to the voting station, which is just a block away from ours. That was when I saw her up close the first time. I have heard about her and seen her years ago actually. I couldn't even remember when and how she looks. So during the election day when we greet her mom, she didn't even say hi to me, I mean, not her mom, I mean her. Wait, I don't remember whether she did, but I think high chances was no. I think even if she does also, you could be like just showing respect, smile, that kind of thing. I have heard rumors that she is the type who is not really very friendly And so I didn't have that high expectation that she will greet me or my parents. But, because she is quite gorgeous. Alright, literally like not bad looking. I mean like really gorgeous, like very stunning gorgeous. Okay, wait. Quite is not the word to use here. Like, she's really very, very attractive and stunning. And, I am the type who like challenges. So what I did was to make the first move. So when I made the first move was I started to smile at her and said hi to her. I mean, like, she ended up responding with a very tiny, slight smile. That is it, like, that is it all. In my head, I was like, okay, let's see to what extent you can be like that to me, because I know what to do. And surprisingly, after that day, I see her quite often, more often than normal. I cannot believe it. I don't understand how this goes, Like, normally I don't see her, but after that day, it's like very often I see her. So whenever we saw each other, she will start to respond to me by, like with a hi, and then we would and goodbyes, like we have known each other for years, and then we will end up stop and chat with each other for a while, and basically all of our subjects of conversations will like be random. I cannot even remember any conversation. What is the contents that we were talking about? Nothing specific. So I will find topics out of the blue, or sometimes I will plan what to say when I meet her again beforehand. So normally, what happened is that I guess accurately on the timing that we would meet coincidentally. So I will make it as if like as if it is coincidence. It is like either she was parking her car, or she's on the way out to work, or she just came back from somewhere, or I was like on my way to a shop, or I just came back from classes or from work, I kind of roughly know. So normally sometimes when I come back from work or classes, I will walk from another side, which is where the train station is. But after during that period, what I did was I tried to find ways to go to a shop first and then come back from the other side, which is where very high potential that I could see her from the other side. So, I planned my trip. So this goes on for about a year, if I remember correctly. So I had fun with those moments, and she was like a good distraction, like from my boring life, Oh, and this was one time I shared with her about my solo trip to London and Europe, and then told her how I gave an excuse to my dad that I am going there for a short course, which I literally did. I mean, like, I went there, then find reasons to go and do something like an educational purposes. I told her the story, and then she go on and called me like, you are such a brat, B-R-A-T, brat, alright? I never felt happy to be called that in my life. I mean, I think she's the first person to say that. Anyway, right, if you all meet me outside, you can use that as you wish to. And one of my best moments with her that inspired me to write this specific poem was when she was driving at the car park. What happened was she just came back from somewhere while I was walking towards the cafe near my place. She was driving to the area where she normally parks her car, but she normally will turn to the left, but at that day she turns to the right. I suspected that she saw me ahead of time. I mean, like, alright, so what happened is that while I was walking, she skids her car elegantly and go about honking a few times at me. So those were accompanied, like, of course, with her, like she was so happy, like her smile beaming from her face, I, as usual, I would try to act cool because I saw her car before that thing happened, and I was already prepared in advance in case she saw me. So basically, I tried to, hi, morning, how are you?
Visit www.winterscribbler.com for collections of books, poetry, and graphics by diverse talents of artists and writers around the world.
Okay, As usual, there is always a point where our pining and anticipation for someone will stop. She ended up getting married. From what I understand is that she was kind of being pressured to get married because of her age, which I guess probably during that time in the mid-40s. But she doesn't look like one, you see. I heard that finally there is someone of her race or origin is interested in her. So what I was thinking is that basically, of all those years, that year which I know her in person, this happened. How fated are all this? Babes, anyway, I was fine and am fine. So this experience was like, a great moment with someone I already know. It is only a distraction to fill my days fun and something to look forward to. Personally, it was also a good achievement for me that I could turn someone who is not friendly to me, and I try to find common grounds with the person. And I'm happy that I managed to do the things that I want, like in those rom-com girl next door movie. I managed to, impress her with my cooking, which is my big pasta. Anyway, cooking for someone I like is like my typical signature move. I believe you guys also might have done that in some way without realizing or with intention doing that. We have heard many times that the first time we meet someone, we find them arrogant. Suddenly we just dislike them for no reason, even though we have not even speak to them. Have you guys experienced that before? I believe like some of you might have. At some point of time, they will end up as your best friend, or eventually sometimes it's your spouse. So well, babes, this is one of those classic examples.
To purchase a copy of the second edition of Masterpiece in Your Heart, visit Amazon.com or www.winterscribbler.com. For any feedbacks and questions, email us at winterscribbler@gmail.com.
Alright, babes. If you have anything that you would like to share based on your experiences with women whom you were or are now attracted to, please do send us an email. And if you don't mind me sharing to the listeners in our upcoming episodes, please mention it in the email. I would be happy to share. And thank you for listening, and see you all soon.